What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. All right, we're late getting set up. We're about to head on track. Welcome to CKNA Winter Nationals at Jacksonville. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Look what we have here. We have the guys from Texas. Yes, Bryce. Mikey can't stop smiling weird for some reason. I just said guys from Texas, and he just... I'm not going to re-record this. This is like the 20th try. So... Kevin was just on track. We're about to see how he did. He hasn't gotten off. Sportsman's going out. I'm going next. So I need to get on track. I'll catch you guys out there. So first practice session going out. I wanted to fall back, get away from everybody. And then I looked to my left and everybody starts slowing down. So I was like, there's a group behind and a group in front. So I just started to hammer down and just go forward as quickly as possible. See if I can run anybody down up front. I left the Daytona setup in just to see how it would work and feel around Jacksonville. I did not put the WK setup in, but I went all day from Daytona setup, WK, Daytona, WK. I don't know what I was doing, man, all day, to be honest. I was just going back and forth from one setup to another. And then going out in the first practice, motor felt strong, but it wasn't as strong as it's been feeling. So that was kind of surprising. Really surprised how the cart worked. It felt good. And usually the first practice out there, when the cart feels good and there's no rubber down, that's bad. All right, you don't want to be really good right off the bat. You want to kind of feel kind of way too loose, in my opinion. If you go to these events, you want the cart to be free, loose, happy in the rear. Right now, I'm running down Joey Miller. The only spot that was faster is this turn. Going through this corner, I was able to take it a lot quicker than he was able to. But for the rest of the track, this was basically it. We stayed at the same distance. Really couldn't run him down anywhere else. Pretty much even everywhere else. And he has thousands and thousands of laps on this track. So I was trying to gauge myself off of him. And actually, being able to stay up with him made me feel really, really good. So I was just playing around with setup today. Since today was just a big practice day. But... super happy. Motor felt a little weak. Can't believe I went that fast in practice. P2. It's practice though, guys. Kevin went flying. Practice, you don't win in practices. Alright, practice 2 number up. Now I put the WK Gold Cup setup back in and see how it feels this weekend with everybody running. I basically kept this distance the whole time. They were up there drafting, running around, and then I was further back trying to figure out which setup worked better, but it was just the motor just did not have the same pull now. I was definitely starting to feel a little difference. The motor was not picking up out of the hole as strong, so I was thinking to myself, maybe something's in the carb. I'm gonna have to clean it out because there is a lot of sand and it's kind of dusty from Daytona, and I did clean it out, but I just wanted to make sure everything was good to go. So my whole goal was, look over the whole engine, make sure everything's good to go. Cart felt great. Cart felt really, really free. Now with the setup in, it just felt real free. And Kevin and Ron get into it. But other than that, the cart felt really free. So I was happier with this setup in because the cart felt way better. It felt like you're on that tipping edge of being out of control. Like the rear end wants to step out but just stays planted. The front end is very pointy. So I really enjoyed the setup, but I just wanted to keep trying different things out. So basically the next session is going to be a hybrid. I put the Daytona front end with the Jacksonville rear end, and we'll see where it goes. Lap times didn't look much better, but P6 just didn't have the pull, but lap times were basically right there. All right, guys. I'm not aware of. Miguel showed up. Better late than never. He was working.
I'm pulling a Jorge. I'm just gonna show up. Y'all have the setup for me. I'm just gonna show up, arrive, and drive.
To be honest, you should take it to Paul.
I'm gonna let you know.
Dude,
I'll lie to you this time.
That's what he did. Hey, I think you should take it to Paul or go grab Dylan's setup. Go look at his cart, send it out. No, we're doing well. Practice is going well. We're just a little bit off. We're trying some things. We're gonna change gearing and change a little bit on the front end and send that. That's it. That's all we can do. I need to find about half a second.
That's it.
No, I'm only 2/10 off the fast guy, but I want to be 3/10 in front of everybody else. All right. Now I have the Daytona front end, which is the Grand's front end setup, and with the Jacksonville rear setup. So no gear changes at all. Now the motor felt really weak. Even cleaning out the carbs, something was way off, and I was like, man, this is not going well this weekend. I haven't had a hiccup since I bought this engine. No problems at all. And I was thinking, it's been torn down so many times. I put it back together. I'm just thinking, I was like, maybe I'm leaking through the head gasket, because I've been reusing the same head gasket. As long as it looks good, I just reuse the same head gasket. It's just what I do. I haven't had one leak in a very, very long time. So now I'm thinking, hey, maybe the head gasket's bad. But I actually like this front end setup. I just think it would not roll through the mini bowl as good as I wanted to. Everywhere else was fine. It was just not rolling through the mini bowl. So overall, the jack setup felt the best, but just wouldn't roll through the mini bowl. And I kept playing around with that, like jacks, grands, kept playing with the front end, rear end, seeing what it was doing. So it was just hunting for that tenth or two that I thought I needed, because it wasn't hard. Found out motor shuts off, and when the motor shut off, I thought I put a window in the block. So thank God that did not happen. Check your spark plug, guys. Spark plug blew out of the head. Spark plug apparently was never tight. And every time I cranked the engine up, I wasn't able to get it to idle correctly. So that should have been a dead giveaway. Next time, make sure the spark plug's tight. Make sure everything's good to go. Just go over everything. If you go through tech, just make sure everything's good to go. It was not the head gasket that was leaking. It was the spark plug that decided to blow out and say bye-bye. But that was not tightened since tech. So all weekend, I knew something was up with the motor. I didn't know 100% sure what it was. The bad thing is, this is not the first time it's happened to me. I have left the spark plug loose before. So I got to make a checklist or a reminder to check over certain things. That time, lap times were not good. P8, but it's all right. We found the issue with the engine, so that made me feel way better. Since I found the issue with the engine, go to practice 4. Now I'm thinking to myself, I put the Jacksonville setup back in the car and run that setup again to see, because I haven't had a good session where the power has been there. Now, okay, the power is there. I'm able to pull up behind people, really get out of the corners, and the kart felt really, really on the edge. And that's the way I want to be before I put on new tires. So I want to be on that edge. Dan pulls out of it right in front of me. So I lose a little bit of the group in front of me. I want to really stay up ahead of them and see if I can keep up with them. So now I'm just trying to run them back down. I get a really good run out of turn 2. Man, that turn 2, setting up for the chicane, kart was hooked up, going through the mini bowl, kart was on fire. So really it was all down to just trying to run them back down, which I was able to after a couple laps to start reeling them back in. So the kart felt really, really good with this setup. It was not snug. It was right on the ragged edge of being just snappy loose. Motor was happy. Everything was starting to come together. So I was thinking to myself, now I gotta find out what gear to run on. Do I keep running the same gear all day, or do I change it up? Jeremy Ritter ended up giving me the gear, and that's the one I stuck for the rest of the weekend, except for the finals, and that will come later. So I was thinking to myself, okay, now that this setup feels great, maybe the final practice, I go back to grand setup, see how the kart feels now after a long night, after a long day, some rubber laid down, see if the kart feels the same way, see if I can run some good lap times out of it with the motor being healthy. It was all, I'm always gearing up for so I can set up my kart for the finals. That's all I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about ahead. I don't have to be the quickest. I just have to survive, but my kart needs to be alive in the finals. That's all I'm thinking about when I'm doing all these changes and tuning, is if the kart feels really good in practice, I'm honestly not happy with it, because I know later on it's going to feel really bad. I just know it's going to get tight. It's just going to fall off. So good practice. onto a final practice. Final practice of the day, I throw the grand setup in, and the cart felt felt great at night. So I'm thinking to myself, like, man, this is insane that this setup is working. The only spot I did not like it was the mini bowl. It just felt like it was just kind of, it wouldn't spring off the corner out of the mini bowl. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, so now I'm thinking about head to head. The cart feels better. It feels quick. This is around the same time we're going to do for heat 2 for tomorrow. So I'm keeping that in the back of my head. It's still a little snug, so it kind of makes me worry, but the cart was just fast. I mean, this one setup that I have works everywhere almost. I say almost because this is the only track that you would probably have to change this setup. Everywhere else, you just put that one setup in, make some minor adjustments, and call it good. Cart was just fast. It would go through the bowl here really quick, and then this mini bowl was just the only area that I was just not extremely happy with. It just would not come out of the mini bowl as hard as I wanted to compared to both setups. So I had some things to do overnight. Overall, it was a really good day of testing for myself. Got 2 really good practice sessions in. Overall, there were a couple hiccups here and there. Most of it I lost is because of the engine, but once we figured that out, we got that thing going, and it was good to go afterwards. So now it's just gearing for the next day. That's all I'm thinking about, is just gearing for the next day. When I practice on a long weekend, I'm finding the setup for the finals. It's all about surviving the heats, not getting into accidents, getting a decent qualifying position, and just hammering down for the finals. If you can find the setup that you're looking for, or you know what to feel, that's what you're hunting for in my book. Like I said before, if the cart feels amazing, if the cart feels great, I'm usually kind of worried, because I know when a new rubber comes on, it usually tightens up the chassis too much. So if I'm really free on the ragged edge the whole time, and I keep ahead of the track and ahead of what I think the track's going to do, usually in the finals my cart is on point. So for practice days, it's not all about the lap times. Yeah, I'm always hunting for that 10th or 2 at the very end. But usually that 1/10 I'm missing is me as a driver. I'm really hunting to get some decent laps down. I don't want the cart to feel amazing. I just want it to feel good, just so I can make sure it's set up for when it really counts. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for the next one. Yo has like,
Holding the door for you.
oh dang, it's dark.
All
right, end of the day, we're all packing up. We're all ready to go. We all did really good. Other than Miguel. Miguel did really bad.
Should have stayed home.
Mikey, Bryce picked up the pace. Kelvin did well.
Hey,
Will, hey man, that LTK, man, he made LTK work.
what?
Matt showed up at the last second. Oh, dang. I might have to edit that out. But in the end, I'm messing with my car. I don't know why, and I might kill Paul by the end of this weekend. All right, guys. Hey, quick. Everybody's tight. Everybody's within the 10th. We're all flying. It's gonna be a really good race day. I'm gonna do 1 gear change and hope for the best. Let's see what happens.